What's up, dudes and dudes to the internet? My name's Scyushi and we're back as well. Trove. Check out the new hat. It's a secret advertisement for my merch, kind of. Basically, I really like it. I'm happy with it. I think that the stitching is great, but most of all, you can see no more invisible head. You can't see inside my brain, or lack thereof, because these hats actually have proper color. It's not green up here. And then look at this, purple. Yeah, there's a bunch of different other colors. Anyways, fourth wall, link in the description. Okay, let's get started with the Heckbug event. So, full disclosure, I don't have everything out of this event because I'm under a little bit of a time crunch. I gotta get this video out to you guys. So let's just get right into it. So the first part of the event is to meet the Heckbug helper Haley, which is gonna be this NPC right here. You just interact with them and then you'll end up gaining an empowered gem box. Next is to help Heckbugs in geode caves. So when we end up going into the geode caves right here, let me find some companions for you. You gotta be very careful when you end up entering these because other players could have gone down one of the paths and ultimately saved all the companions before you even get in here. But it seems like I got lucky. So these guys right here, you know, the chest one you laser, the cold one you put a blanket on them, the hungry one you feed, the injured one you heal. All of them are going to count towards this next part of the quest. And this is something that you really want to keep in mind is these guys, because they're going to be a huge part of the event. But once you help 10 of them, you'll end up gaining 25 of the Heck Karma tokens. And then it wants you to meet the Heartwarmer Herald in the hub. I'll just say good luck if you don't have any of the geode cave stuff maxed out. Now, I forget whether or not it's this NPC or the other NPC around the corner. I think it's this one is the Heckbug Heartwarmer. Anyway, you interact with him and you get an empowered gem box. Then you have to purchase the amorous Heckbugs from the Heartwarmer Herald. Yeah, that's this guy, which I can't interact with him right now just because this quest is in the way. But it wants you to grab these suckers right here. So let me just grab a couple of these. I already had some. Whoops. And then we're gonna end up going into the volcanic Dragonspire Peak. Purchasing those will give you an iron power gem box, and then it wants you to use the amorous Heckbug thing in Dragonfire Peaks. So let me find some Heckbugs for you guys. So if you don't know how these events work, just in regards to Trove spawning, basically each of these areas, like this isn't one continuous Dragonspire biome, it's a bunch of biomes stitched together. So you can kind of see, like if you look at the ocean there, like every little icon is like a singular biome. And the only reason I'm pointing this out is because sometimes you can have biomes that have tons of these guys, and then other times you might have a Dragonspire biome that doesn't have a single one. So anyway, you go up to him, you throw down the little amorous thing, it throws down a little Heckbug that ends up going and kissing them or whatever, and then you destroy it. Honestly though, for that part of the quest, you just had to use one and you gain an empowered gem box, but then it wants you to help Heckbugs find love. Now the thing to keep in mind is with the little guy, when the heart breaks, that doesn't count as them finding love. They have to have the heart light up and then they end up despawning. You gotta do that to 10 of them and then you'll get a Heckbug egg. So moving back to the hub, they want you to hatch the Heckbug eggs. So that's gonna be over here at the egg incubator, which I mean, I've got plenty of eggs and frankly speaking, I don't want to put any more of these allies in my inventory because you see I got plenty of these eggs. But yeah, suffice to say, you'll hatch the egg and then you'll get our 75 of the Heck Karma tokens. Then it wants you to meet with the Heckbug Hunter. Now it wants you to go and talk to this dude on the side. So when you end up talking to this person, you'll end up gaining another empowered gem box, and then it wants you to complete Heckbug daily quests. Technically, it only says to complete this Heckbug Hunter's daily quest, but I just ended up completing all of them anyways. You don't get anything for that though, which is a bit odd. You do get stuff for completing the dailies though. So the dailies are going to be help geode Heckbugs, kill Heckbugs, and help Dragonspire Heckbugs. The next part is to equip the standard of the Heckbug Hunter. Now this is where one of you ended up warning me on stream the other day. You have to get this banner in order to complete this part of the quest. The reason this is important to point out is because this banner right here is a different banner. Okay, so just keep that in mind. They're both completely separate things. You will eventually need to get all of them anyways, as I'll explain. But anyway, you just equip that banner from the hunter around the corner here. And then what this banner is going to do is it's going to make it so that it increases Heckbug Pincers, which we'll get into that later. It removes the shield from the Heckbugs and Dragonspire peaks, and then it occasionally reveals hidden Heckbug invaders when completing dungeons. Now, a Heckbug invader, for those of you that don't know, every 8 minutes you're going to end up having like the shadow dudes drop down from above. Those have been replaced with Heckbugs. Lots of people do AFK farms where they have a cornerstone set up for Heckbugs specifically, which I can kind of show you what mine looks like. Let me swap my cornerstone over to the hunt, because believe it or not, you can actually have 2 cornerstones. So all you gotta do for this, there's a lot of more complex ways that you can set up these cornerstones. I just did the super lazy way where you build all the way down to bedrock, because by being down here, it prevents the invaders from spawning anywhere further out, because they have to be in a certain height range from a player. So the more people you have down here, the more invaders are gonna pop in from above. If you end up finding an AFK farm, you could just get all the 15 invaders that you need to kill all at once. Otherwise, it's gonna be a very slow process, or you could use this banner to complete dungeons and get it. But frankly speaking, the odds of getting a Heckbug invader out of a dungeon are really, really bad even with this banner. Anyways, you do that to 15 of them, and then that completes that part of the quest, doesn't give you a reward, and then the next part of the quest just completely disappeared for me. Apparently, you guys were saying that the 12th part of the quest involves completing the additional daily quests. So because I already did all my dailies, that quest completed instantaneously. But don't worry, even if you don't actually have the quest pop up in the top right, the last part of the quest is just to interact with this idiot again. And then you'll end up getting like 150 of the Heckbug tokens, I think. Now, for the actual grindy side of the event. Now, I'm not going to end up going into too much detail of all the items that you could get over the previous years. But there's basically going to end up being this gigantic Heckbug. Is it a Heckbug Dreadnought? Monarch, that's it. So you can get this mount, as well as many others, absolutely free. This mount is kind of the big rare item that a lot of people always go for, because the Dragonspire Heckbugs that you're killing or harding or whatever, they have a chance of dropping a couple allies as well as this mount, and it's tradable. So that's one of the big reasons why the Heckbug event is so coveted. But on top of that, this Heckbug event has a lot of other items that you will want to log in and grind for. Most of all, it's going to end up being items that will affect the game long term. Mostly this idiot right here. The Souls of Depths are one of the most difficult resources to obtain in this game, to the point where a freak like me, an endgame monster, barely has any of these. But because of this event, I'll be able to get enough of these that I'll be able to get at least one of my pieces of gear into Mystic, because what this resource is used for is to convert Crystal 5 gear into Mystic gear. And then of course you need additional of these various resources, Soul of Depth, Depth Cores, and so on and so forth to increase the level of that Mystic gear, but it's just so ridiculously expensive, it's not worth it. The reason the Soul of the Depths is so difficult to obtain is because it's from super deep delves. I'm talking like 170 or 175 depth minimum, and you have to have a really, really solid group to be able to farm it. And you know me, I play this game primarily solo. Anyways, this is the main thing that you'll want to hop in for. There is also infinite positive karma, a couple other good daily items that you can end up getting out of these other NPCs, but maybe you're just trying to get the event items themselves, in which case there's going to end up being 2. There's going to be the Heckbug roller, and then from this NPC, there's going to end up being a couple different allies and this mount, which that's basically the mount right up there, as you can see. So in order to grind the various items out of the event is basically split into 2 different sections. One of them is going to end up being the caves. So these geode caves is where you'll end up getting the Heckbug tokens, which is going to end up being used for all of these resources and going to be used with this NPC to craft these various items, right? So if you're trying to be as efficient as you can for the tokens specifically, you would end up getting this banner, which makes it so that you get karmic tokens when helping Heckbugs in geode caves. So you basically just get more tokens overall. And then this ally right here, which makes it so that using a flask while in the Geode Caves will make it so you get additional Heckbug Karma tokens when helping Heckbug companions. So basically, by having both of these at the same time, you're going to be almost doubling the amount of karmic tokens that you end up getting. And trust me, it is worth it. Okay. I know a lot of people go into these events and they start thinking, well, what if I just rush this mount? It's faster to actually get all of these items that end up helping you with the additional resources. And then it'll go like way faster. You can get pretty much everything out of this event. I'd say 4 to 5 hours for the average player of just nonstop grinding of both the Geode Caves and the second resource, the Pincers. So the Pincers are going to be a resource that you get from the Heckbugs in Dragonspire Peaks. Doing it at higher difficulty, namely D13 Mega Dark. This is going to end up being the highest difficulty that the Heckbugs in Dragonspire Peaks will scale their Pincers. Of course, it means that you have to search for the biome when you end up going to D13, but what do the Pincers do? Well, this banner that you have to get out of the quest line will end up making it, as I mentioned, not only the Heckbugs and Dragonspire Peaks will break their shields, so you don't need to craft the Amorous item anymore, but it also increases the drop rate of the Pincers, not by much, but enough that it counts. And then occasionally reveals Heckbug invaders while completing dungeons. I wouldn't bother doing that at all. Again, you'll need to get this anyways, and then you'll also have to get some more of the tokens because there's going to be some additional allies that will help. This one increases the drop of Heckbug Pincers. This one right here is probably the most useless ally. It makes it so that karma tokens can drop while helping Heckbugs. So you would think, oh, that's a way that I can kill 2 birds with 1 stone while being in Dragonfire Peaks. The drop rates are so astronomically bad that it's actually more cost efficient for your time to go either 100% Pincers in Dragonspire Peaks or 100% tokens in the Geode Caves. And again, a reminder, this mount as well as all the valuable items are just from the Dragonspire Peaks side of things. But if you're at the end game, you're gonna wanna grind the caves for these various resources because they are very, very invaluable. And maybe if it's your first time doing a Heckbug event, there are going to end up being the Heckbug companion eggs that are located in each of these caves. So that's definitely worth going for. Why is this oh, it's a Dragonfire Peaks portal. I was wondering, why is it a U5 portal? Also, devs, it's a U5 portal that you put into this event hut, but you've already renamed all the difficulties. This is D8. So it should reflect that on the portal. But anyways, there's a lot of good things to be had out of this event. Even after you've gotten like the mounts and stuff like that, there are a lot of daily items worth getting out of this guy with the Pincers, and there's a lot of daily items worth getting with the stupid tokens. Unfortunately, like I said, you kind of got to grind a lot in order to get these various boosters. Then you will start to steamroll through the event. In any case, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you watching. Smash like, sub for more, buy the merch you want, support the channel, and have yourselves a wonderful day. I gotta get this video wrapped up, uploaded for you guys, and then I'm gonna start streaming. I'm gonna try my best to live stream the event as often as I can, but if I'm being perfectly honest, my son is probably going to be born before this event goes away, because the event, I think, lasts until March 4th. It is available for console as well for those of you that inevitably will ask in the comments.